Hello and welcome back to Magic with Melly. Today's giant tarot card is the Eight of Wands. And as you can see back here, we've got the Lover's card, back of the deck energy. Love to see that. I think this reading is going to be all about keeping up your motivation and making these big moves. They might be money moves, they may be romantic moves, it could be just some giant changes as far as locking in security. All right, so we have the Eight of Wands, just jumping into that. Eight of Wands is really indicative of just going for it, rushing in, perhaps, just forward movement and very quick movement. Also, it could be very forceful, or it could be something that you have put thought into and made a choice towards. The Lovers can be indicative of choices that you make. Yeah, not to go too deeply into that, but I have two tarot decks out here, some tea leaf cards, and your pre-shuffled oracles. I really felt like the tea leaf fortune cards should come out this week, so I will live shuffle that along with these. These ones are pre-shuffled already for you, but let's get into reading the situation, reading what the collective is going through right now. Hopefully it resonates. If it resonates, this reading is for you. If it does not resonate, then check out one of my other videos and see if one of those works out for you. Maybe you are in need of spiritual guidance. If not, there are other times as well. Sometimes we need it, sometimes we don't. But this is the Game of Thrones tarot. I'm shuffling it in this reading because I feel like you guys are really savage. The collective has been very savage recently as far as making choices. Sometimes perhaps some of the choices that we've made recently are extreme, or they implement a lot of changes. And so I feel like this deck wants to come out for those savage individuals that sort of need validation after making such rapid or intense choices. First card coming out is the Hanged Man, but it looks like it actually wants to go that way. So we'll go Hanged Man. Let's see what else is going on for the collective. Thank you for tuning in. This is Magic with Melly. Three of Spears, Three of Wands, but it's reversed. What else is going on here with the collective? We have the Devil reverse. Tell us more about what we need to know for the highest good of the collective. The Devil reverse, Four of Coins. Let's get one more card out for the collective, please, Spirit. Thank you. Oh, that's 20. We're going to do Knight of Swords and just have this clarifying the bottom row. Nine of Coins, Temperance, Two of Spheres, Queen of Swords. Okay. It looks like the cards, that's how the cards want to be. So I'll have it. It's a lot more cards than I intended, but that's perfectly fine. This reading's for you. So let me make sure I get everything out, okay? Back the deck, Ace of Coins. Let me see what you can see. You can see everything. Beautiful. Okay. Sorry. I know in my other Melly Monday readings, the camera was on me. Last time I did it like this. I wonder how this angle will work out for me. But getting into the reading, excuse me, it says the Hanged Man over the Ten of Cups. So I feel as if your situation currently, gives you this high energy, this really happy, like pursuant energy, regardless if you're in like coming to this reading for your career purpose or for another person or both, you know, like you could be trying to manifest both. Whatever situation that is high in potential currently, you are, I'm picking up here a little bit of like wariness. Maybe you're a little hesitant, a little cautious to move forward because you know where you have been. You know your experiences. You know that when things go south, it can go really south, and you also know when things go really good, they go really good, and you're just sort of, you don't want to be hurt again, especially as badly as you've been hurt in the past. It's just not worth your time and energy. You realize that now. You're not so addicted to your pain or addicted to your past like you used to be. You've given yourself much patience here, and a lot of time to sort of process certain things and make some of the decisions you've made. I definitely pick up on this energy here, the way it's reflected in the first 6 cards. But I think Spirit wants to indicate to you that it is okay to wait as long as you want to wait, or move when you want to move. That it is your decision, but the decision to um, do anything, you know, like that is like, you can amount how ready you are for something, but the reminder here from me specifically is that you're not going to feel ready ever. You're just gonna have to get over the waiting, you know, like get over the tendency to want to wait till you're quote unquote ready, because you're never going to quote unquote like feel ready. And so your Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, that's where sort of the combating is coming from, is the constant like you have this specific image or like feel like situation that you feel should happen before other things occur, but it's like if the universe does not intend that for you, and like you're the only one that has that intention, like you need to match your intentions with the universe, and like you can't be too specific when you're operating with source. And like I don't know how to, like, I'm trying to stay as general as possible, because I want this to apply to as many in my collective as possible. I want everybody to feel understood, but it's like you'll feel ready once you're in it, because then it'll be like you'll realize a validating experience, or like the situation, just being in it in general is a validating experience, and that itself could be your ready button that you've been waiting for, is just pressing go, just doing it. Because with the Knight of Swords, I'm reading this as like protecting yourself, like being on guard, being like a watchful eye, and have, you know, just being just ready. um I guess ready for, like, prepared for like something to occur. But with the Queen of Swords here in reverse, it's indicative to me that there is more to it than just what you're seeing, right? Because with, I think specifically just the way that this card is depicted for me, Queen of Swords, this is the queen. And actually, when you are watching Game of Thrones, I don't know if this is going to be any type of spoiler, but you do realize that the queen herself does go through a lot of turmoil, and she's a major bitch throughout the series. But I think it's really like a catalyst, some periods in her story that really make you sort of feel for her and resonate with her. And I feel like that's you, where if you had a tough call, like a, you know, tough go, and you have a hard shell, okay, like we definitely pick up on that if you exude that energy, if you like repel people because people get too close, if you resonate with that, we are like, we as a collective, you know, the people who are caring of you and like wish you well, we understand you, and but it is a little hard to be around you. Just that's a very specific note for some, but all in all, do you know, if you feel like waiting, if you feel like making a go, that's all on you. But the real, I guess, cherry pick is when you feel like that spark or that motivation. Don't overthink it. Don't go to your mind like, should I not, should I not, like don't be picking like rose petals off. um and then like with something in your heart, and then when the outcome says the opposite, then you listen to that. Like listen to your own intuitive calling, because you don't know if like, this is sort of just going on a like little side loop because this might be helpful, but you know, you sometimes you're never, you can never be completely sure that you're not being like spiritually attacked, or if you have like a demon looming over you, like a negative spirit or some opposing spirit that doesn't have your well intentions at heart, that may be trying to communicate with you by divine means, divination, you know. Our spirits, the spirits that we communicate with, they're not just our allies. We have to be specific and make sure that we are, you know, working with people that we trust and working with spirits that we trust. And, you know, like we're human, we're in this reality, and they're in a, you know, they're in the metaphysical, they're in the wherever they are, but they can't really mess with us. Like we have the power to choose. But if you're using like overusing divination, if you're overusing like people's advice, if you're like not even taking your own situation, your own decisions, your own experience, your own energy, your own heart into consideration. But yeah, it's great to ask for help, but if you use their help and override your own help towards yourself, that's like counter, like intuitive. Like this, like that doesn't do very much for you. And the warning here is that make sure that if you are going to use divination, that you are like knowing that you're connecting with allies, or that you're connecting with your higher self, that you're asking, you know, like what future you would recommend for yourself, you know. But with the King of Spears here, Five of Spears, the Priestess, you know where it is that you need to kind of drop the energy, because you feel it. You feel it with your like your heart sinking when you're about to do an action that doesn't feel right. You feel it like with like being shaky and having anxiety. Like you know, your body tells you stuff. So if you tune in a little bit deeper, you can really pull out and draw out a lot of abundance in your life, both, you know, we hope for good abundance, but abundance in any form can be utilized very well. It's a tool. Ace of Coins here, divine grant, divine opportunities. I feel like it probably feels like just a flip of a coin that things will go 50-50 sometimes, that, or maybe you feel like extremes, like, you know, one or the other. But if any of those messages resonated for you, these next lesson cards or these next oracle cards will be for you. Okay, the first card says, in every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. This next card says, obstacles are detours in the right direction. There is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. Now, yes, so sometimes I really just want to highlight when things don't go well, obstacles or detours in the right direction, you may be really pissed off. You may be really upset that something didn't go the way you wanted, the way that you expected it to. And that's where I was like trying to be touching on earlier in the reading is that when you hold on too tightly to a specific thing, you can't necessarily go until that specific thing happens. But what if that very specific situation never happens, right? Like maybe you're meant to be somewhere else, so that situation never happened. You were meant to be dropped in this other situation, and you're just sitting here being pissed off at the universe when really it was probably an opportunity or a grant, and you're missing more of it because you're still stuck. You're still hanging on to a specific thing. Like you're not going with the flow. You're not going with the flow of the universe. Live your authentic truth. That's really like if you get a spark, just going for it. Authentic truth. Don't overthink it. Don't open up to other people to make yourself susceptible or vulnerable to changing your mind. Sometimes you are at most times when you open up an idea to somebody, you're vulnerable to that person taking your idea. You're vulnerable to you even forgetting that you had the idea because you released it and didn't, your action towards it was only saying it to somebody. You didn't do more than that. So sometimes you if you do have that inkling to do something, make sure that if it's important enough to you, you're doing it like a snap of a finger, like immediately. It will be pretty sexy, like it will be spontaneous. I feel like if this isn't just a career situation, that perhaps your spontaneity is really sexy to another person who is interested in you. But that is probably a specific message for only some, but who knows. You will know. You'll be able to tell me if it resonates or not. You can let me know in the comments. But these cards say, I won't let others stoke fear in my heart. What was I saying? Don't let other people, don't like expose your vulnerabilities too much unless you're strong enough, to share that and like have your energy be solid enough to not be wavered by somebody else's energy. But I choose to remain true to who I am and where my dreams direct me, no matter the hardship I might incur. So you're gonna have to find the strength in yourself to, hey, I have this interest and I don't give a flying cup if you like it or not, like it's really up to you. Some people want to strip. Some people want to shuffle cards for a living. Some people do construction work. Not whatever it is, like I wouldn't recommend construction work, but another person will probably value doing construction work. My body cannot handle it. Someone else's body can. And so that's what I mean about like, don't let other people bring fear in, because their words are for them. Ultimately, their words are used for them. So if they're like saying, I don't think you will like it, sure, that's their opinion. But if you do like it, like, okay, like then whatever they said is irrelevant. And that's what I mean, like, ultimately, is that like someone else's words doesn't have to be your truth. Your own truth is your truth. When we were hurt, we felt that love was somehow diminished or damaged. But hurt has nothing to do with love, and love is unaffiliated with and unaffected by pain. Ego is hurt, not love. Love is divine. It is everywhere, ever present, and abundant and free. So when you do feel hurt, like by a specific person, one of my favorite things to remind people of is that love isn't just a specific person, a specific relationship, a specific way of being treated. Like love isn't just, love is everywhere. Love is reflected within yourself. It's reflected between the connection between you and your parents, the connection between you and your children, if you have any, your connection between you and your siblings, if you have any, your connection between you and your friends. All of that is, you have access. You can tap into the love that exists in the world. It's just channeled through people. It's channeled through the experiences that you have. And when you're hurt, you've got to heal yourself. You got to love yourself and care after yourself. And then that will be reciprocated by and channeled through by the other people like in your environment. However you treat yourself, the universe will sort of repeat that. Like, and I really mean that truly. Like, I went to a roller rink yesterday, not no, not yesterday, 2 days ago, and I feel like I've been putting a lot of work into having good karma and good luck, and it shows for it because there was a dice game and I won the dice game. It ended up being a free drink at the rink, and that was really sweet. And I feel like that's just ever so validating about this card is that love is divine is everywhere. Like, I have access to it because I work so hard on loving myself that the universe loves me back. And with the, we have forgotten that the natural flow to life is not a distant death, but a present in the moment detachment from living. So, a lot of things that are sort of like that brings you to maybe like a depressive mode is being too future forward or too being in the past. Like, if you are not in the present moment and enjoying right now, anytime that you're spending like worrying about the future or dwelling on the past is just taking away from living. I think that's just mostly what this card is about. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Abundance. I'm a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. This could be true. Like, maybe you could be finding friendships at work. Maybe you have a new friendship that you're concerned about. Maybe there's all sorts of things. But I'm just going to flip all of these and so I can read them for you. But there is like abundance. Maybe you do have like a friend group that you can like lean to when you're not feeling very good. Maybe it's about bringing in trust, accepting that you can trust the situation, accepting that you can trust yourself with the decisions that you recently made, especially if you made some really heavy, crazy ones. I think coming in to this next week or next following weeks, you're going to definitely be seeing abundance. You're going to definitely be seeing validation, and it's going to be honest. It's going to be raw. It's going to be real. It's going to be some of the abundance that you're going to be getting will probably make people jealous. With this envy card, I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. I feel like sometimes it could be hard to see that the good things that are happening to you are things that you like worked for and through. And, you know, like, same thing the other way around is that sometimes we tend to like look at another person and be like, well, what did they do to deserve that? Like, they just seem like me. Like, what could I be doing better or worse, like, that makes them deserve that and me deserve this? And it's like, let go of this like jealousy energy. Whoever's emanating that, just let go of it and just be you. You know, like, really like surrender and be you. Be honest with like who you are, what you have to offer, what you need to grow on, what you are like really good at. Like, really assess all these things and find your placement. Like, find what makes you feel good, find what you are good at, find those things and really put yourself into placements with the, like, have this forward movement on like productivity, proactivity. Just trust that the guidance that you're receiving is you're seeing it for a reason. That's all. Demonstrate love. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. 48. Spiritual connection. A relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. Love is all around you. There's love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. Especially in our spiritual like connections, our ancestors are always waiting for us to ask them for help. We're always waiting for us to want to unlock our blessings. They're always waiting, you know. The thing with spiritual stuff is that when you pray on something, if you pray on something specific and spirit doesn't want to give it to you, it's maybe because you don't deserve what you're asking for. And that's not to say in a bad way that maybe what you're asking for you don't realize is a horrible situation to walk into, and that you're meant for something else, that you're meant for better than what you're asking for. or vice versa. I don't know what your karma is like, but take that however it works for you. This card says you were made for awareness. This one says your body needs you to master how awareness works. I love, that's really funny that those cards came out together. And this one says you can transcend outer disturbances and remain unaffected by them. That's a good affirmation. Transcend outer disturbances and remain unaffected. So always being peaceful, even when someone's actively trying to piss you off, even when this situation is shitty, even if, like, just always transmute stuff and get through things. And, you know, if you feel like you deserve better, make safe movements in order for you to receive better. Like, don't fuck yourself over for having like a disturbance and then acting too hastily or too extremely because it made you mad or because it made you really like angry or upset. You know, transcend, like, these are affirmations, so like perhaps you've gotten into a better practice with this or that you're actively working on it. But this one says, when you give the flow of life, when you give, comma, the flow of life never runs dry. Wholeness can afford to be generous. It feels no lack. And your soul is a reservoir for infinite energy, creativity, and intelligence. It can't possibly run dry. So I like that it says 2 cards about, like, you can't really run dry if you just flow. If you just flow with your own energy, it's a beautiful thing to really feel whole. And when you give out, you know, give yourself to the universe, give out to the universe, give to other people. Make sure that you're doing it from a place of feeling good and generous, that you don't feel negative when you do give. You know, never give with the intention of receiving. That's a really twisted way of, like, giving to somebody, because it's like, it's giving. You are giving to them. So then why are you expecting to receive back? Don't give if you expect to receive back, because it's kind of a twisted expectation to have. You don't know if you're giving to someone who has nothing, and then now you're asking them to give from nothing, and they don't have, they can't really go negative in that way if they don't have anything to give you. Like, and so just be careful there. And then that was all the oracles. I'm going to shuffle the tea leaf fortune ones before I forget. I'm just gonna grab like a handful of whichever one's in here. And let's see messages for, the collective. Maybe fix that. Okay, these were 2, actually 3. It says, rooster, an arrogant and boastful person you should not cross. Basket, recognition, reward for merit. And hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. So, in the collective, I feel like there is somebody who has arrogant energy. It could be you. It could be you as far as, like, nobody wants to cross you. Nobody wants to, like, make you upset anymore because you're doing really well, and you're, like, making those harder, like, better decisions with your boundaries. They are difficult, but you are going to be recognized for, like, feeling better. You're going to be recognized for asking for help when you do need help, or maybe you always offer a hand in help. And so you're going to be recognized for that. I feel like that's what these cards are telling me. And we have fair woman. Dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. That could be just you being read in the cards. It could be a situation where you know about a woman that has blonde, gray, or white hair. Maybe you are connected in that way. Maybe that's somebody who's going to help you out. There's a lot of different ways to read that fair woman card, but overall, let's get, thanks, Spirit. One more. That was the last one. Whale card. Great worry over nothing. So sometimes this could be the card to indicate that if you were worried about some blondie in your person's life or in your career life, maybe your person's a boss, that you're worried about. Whatever it is, maybe you're big time worrying for nothing, because that's what the whale card is here to say. You need to just chill out, and that maybe back here with the awareness, you need to be aware of like your overthinking tendencies and how that just ruins everything for you. And like, if you know that, then you can kind of be proactive in getting out of your mind. With the Fool card, now we're shuffling this, and that's going to be the end of the reading, by the way, after this. But with the tarot, here, the Fool card coming out, just being ready for those beginnings. 3 of Wands, choosing the journey, choosing the difficult, choosing to bypass the difficult stuff. Because whatever you do choose, it is going to become difficult. It's not going to be easy in anything that you do. Just reminder of that. So if you are opting out of something because it's quote unquote difficult, well, everything's going to be difficult. So you got to choose your battles there. What is really important to you is kind of the fact of the matter. The World card, 4 of Pentacles, King of Wands, back of the deck energy, the Devil reverse. Sweeties, I am so honored to bring you guys forward with the World card reverse. I just feel like you guys don't believe in the abundance and the luck and the blessings that are about to come because you haven't seen them. All right. Just because you haven't seen it, it doesn't mean it isn't waiting for you. It doesn't mean it's not all packaged up and just waiting, you know, like it really, like it's, look at this 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles card makes me think, if you can visualize it, if you're familiar with the tarot, it is an individual sitting at a tree with 3 pentacles, and then there's 1 pentacle being handed to him by like a very majestic looking hand coming out of the sky. Well, the majestic hand coming out of the sky looks like the Ace of Pentacles, which is a divine grant, a divine opportunity, like that kind of God-given blessing. And in this card is depicted in a box. It's all put together. It's all perfectly pristine. And just sitting there waiting for you to unlock it. I love that the card is purple. I'm really understanding this card as, if you follow your intuition, follow your heart with confidence, your blessings will come in literally wrapped in a present. Like it'll literally feel like it was God-given when it happens. King of Wands, you're going to feel passionate. You're going to feel loved. It's going to feel amazing. But all this energy is up to you. Back to the Hanged Man, you have your own perspective. You have your own experiences. You have your own set of knowing and what's right for you and what's calling you and what you're being drawn to, like all those things. If you make little steps, they don't have to be giant leaps, but if you take little steps and little steps and little steps, before you know it, you're going to be exactly where you want to be, looking back and being like, wow, I'm right where I used to want to be, you know, and you're going to be really surprised with yourself. So just get out of your head here with the Devil card reverse. The way I see it is crawling out of your head and being, rather than being upside down and all up in the negative, put yourself in the right side up. I feel like you're just really addicted to pains of the past or any kind of ordeal like that, and just move on. I know it's easier said than done, but if you need, spiritual connections and more magical stuff goings-ons, I'm open for services for crystals and card readings for personal services, personal servicing and things. But that's going to be your reading. Follow your intuition. Get out of your head. Okay. Warning that things might get worse before they get better, but your blessings are waiting. Your changes are coming. They're here. That's wherever you are at, it's going to be difficult and then get better, or it's better and it's going to get difficult and then more, it's just that unblocking. When you unblock your blessings, you're destroying stuff that are basically in the way of your blessings. And so just a warning there, it may feel like things are going to get worse, but that's just clearing the path for the new and amazing. All right, that is the reading today, guys. I love it so much. Thank you for coming. I did that pretty quickly, I think, because I'm not in my head, like seeing my face on the screen feeding back to me. So let me know how this angle works out for you. I can channel in both angles for YouTube. I'm just assessing how to keep bringing content out and finding new ways to keep approaching and showing up as my best self. I appreciate sharing each other's existence. I'm open to hearing from you. Just let me know, and I will be back next week and perhaps during the week on other social media. All right, goodbye.